Hey everybody out there, Coach Dan Long with Get Lean in 12, and today I have a personal story that I hope that will inspire you to get started on one of your favorite programs that right now you may need to be able to get the dream body that you desire. Now, most of you probably don't know that I actually went through a very gut-wrenching divorce that took me 2 years and 2 months in court to fight for the rights of my kids. Unfortunately, sometimes in life, right, things happen and they don't go the way that we expect. And we can either let those things take us down, or we can use those as a catalyst to get us to the next level of where it is that we want to go. Now, for me, one of those things was I ended up using exercise because my stress was so deep and I was experiencing depression. I was so wore out from the draining grind of working my normal job and then having to deal with this horrible divorce, being separated from my children and not being able to see them when I wanted to. And you know, at the time, my kids were 2 and 1 years old at the time. I have a son and a daughter from my previous marriage before Nicole. And I just knew they weren't in a great spot, okay? With that being said, it was the hardest mountain I've ever climbed in my life to have to leave my kids because I could not take them with me and have to fight in court, spend every single dollar that I had. I spent every single dollar that I had to fight for the right of my children. Now, I told God, you give me these kids, and for the rest of my life, it's never gonna be about me. It's gonna be about my family. And so let me tell you, that stress was so bad on me, I started gaining a ton of weight and my mind was always thinking negative thoughts. And maybe you can relate to that. I don't know, maybe you're going through a serious situation right now, or you have been through a serious situation in your time that maybe set you behind and you feel like, you know, you for some reason can't find that next step to be able to get started on an exercise program to get your body that you desire. And so I used all this negative energy and I used it as the biggest mountain that I had to climb as a catalyst for me to get, obviously, number one, positive thoughts in my mind, but number two, I really needed something to lean on to help me get through this horrible time of my life. Now, that was about 11 years ago to the day. And I tell you, God bless anyone who's going through that or anyone who's ever been through that. It is one of the hardest things that you can ever go through, is when you marry someone and you think that you're in love and that you have a commitment and for some reason things just don't work out. And you know what? That's okay. I want you to know, you cannot allow that to take you down, no matter what it is. And in my situation, it just so happened to be this horrible divorce. And I started exercising to help the stress level because my blood pressure got through the roof and it seemed like I was gaining all this weight, and it was all because I was depressed. And stress is the most horrible thing that can actually take a toll on your body, not only health-wise, but it can make you gain a lot of weight, okay? Your hormones get all whacked out. So with going through this horrible divorce, and I mean, every time I turn around, there was a filed motion. I had to go to court. I had to be in my lawyer's office. And all along, all I was trying to do was the right thing for my children because I did not want my kids to suffer. I just wanted them to be happy, and I wanted them to have a happy life. Now, I come from a mom and dad that divorced, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to go through. My mom and dad divorced when I was 12 years old, and it was really hard on me. My grades were straight A's up until my mom and dad divorced. And then I remember being pulled into a portable at the time with a guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor looked at me and said, "Why did your grades all fall to F's?" And I started crying, and I didn't know how to answer that at 12 years old. I didn't know how to answer that. And the reason was because now I know later on in life, being 44, it was because my mom and dad, all I wanted was my mom and dad to be together. That's all I wanted, and I didn't understand why they couldn't be together. So the last thing I ever wanted the day that I got married was to ever get divorced if I had children. Unfortunately, it did not work out, but it's okay. It's okay because today I live a life that's better than it was before I ever went through that divorce. And I'm going to tell you why. Because during that hardest time of my life, I turned to exercise to help me with my stress, and also to help me with my motivation, and then also to make me feel better about myself when I looked in the mirror. Now, of course, exercising, you should be doing it anyways for your health, but it's also one of the greatest things that you can use for some of the most negative things that can ever happen to you in your entire life. Now, there's a lot more things I can think about that I went through besides just this divorce, but this divorce was one of the hardest things I ever went through because I love my kids and I wanted the best for my kids. So I spent every dollar I had. I fought every single day for the rights of my kids. Meanwhile, I was working 80 hours a week in my normal job inside of a restaurant, working in general managing restaurant. And I had all my employees. I had to take care of all of them. I had to make sure that I was good. I had to try to eat right. Honestly, I wasn't eating enough because I was always depressed. And when I did eat, it was all the wrong foods. And all I did was pack those pounds on because I didn't eat regularly. And my hormones were so whacked out. And I can tell you, I know there's more people out there, maybe even you, that are going through this right now or have been through it. And you're suffering right now because you are allowing those negative thoughts, the stress, all get the best of you. Well, I'm living proof to let you know that doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen. And one of the greatest things that ever happened because of that divorce was I ended up going into full-time fitness and nutrition because I really turned to exercise and nutrition as something that helped me get through the most hardest time of my life. I lost the weight because I exercised, and I also started paying attention to all nutrition labels. And after that 2 years and 2 months in court, my day came. And it was actually 2 days that I had in court where I had to sit in a courtroom. My ex had 11 witnesses that she had take a stand, and I'm sorry, not just witnesses, they were also professionals, doctors and so forth. And I had one person take the stand, which was my father. And it was only for 10 minutes. Now, so you know, my father actually served 30 years as a sergeant on Tampa Police Department here in Tampa. So I would say he was pretty legit as far as someone who take the stand and trustworthy. After 2 days of testimony in court, the most hardest mountain I've ever climbed in my life, I had a female judge. The gavel came down and they said, "Mr. Long, we award you primary care custody of Summer and Austin, your 2 children, and Mrs. Long, you will pay him child support." Now, I know you know that there's not a lot of men that have ever been able to say that because it's very difficult for a man to get custody of his children. And I end up making that happen because you want to know why? Because 1, I stayed positive. 2, I leaned on God for my faith, and I was able to prevail because I leaned on my faith and I asked for it and I got it. 3, during the time of this entire 2 years and 2 months, I really turned to exercise and I really turned to my nutrition to help me get through those trying times. And guess what ended up happening? With that time of me taking the exercise and that nutrition and really using that as my catalyst, it ended up making me more fit than I had ever been. I felt more motivated. I felt more confident. My depression started to fade. And then when my day came and that gavel came down and that judge awarded me custody of my children, I realized that not only was I in a job, I was in a job that I needed to start seeking out what I really was meant to do, which was fitness and nutrition. That divorce made me realize that not only did I need to turn to fitness and nutrition for a career to help more people like you, but it also made me feel the best that I had ever been in my life. I was in the best shape of my life. I felt the greatest. My health was in the best it had ever been. And so it ended up opening my eyes to not only just, I was working just a dead-end job, but it also made me realize I have more to give. I have a lot more purpose. And my purpose was fitness and nutrition to help people like you, especially if you're over the age of 35. Now, I'm 44 years old. Yes, I won custody of my kids. And then I turned that hard mountain that I climbed into a career. It also helped me realize that fitness and nutrition is where I belong. I belonged in fitness and nutrition full time to help more people out in the world realize that you're gonna have hurdles, you're gonna have bumps, you're gonna have valleys. You can't let the valleys get deep. You can't let the negativity get the best of you, because you know that every time something bad has happened to you, greatness is on the other side. It just may take a week. It may take a month. It may take a couple months or a year, but eventually it's going to come back around and you are going to prevail. And I want you to prevail. I want you to feel like those valleys are not low. I want you to feel like the depression can be kicked to the curb, because it can without medications. And to this day, I don't take any medications, although doctors have prescribed me an umpteen amount of medications that there's no way in heck I'm gonna take. I'm just not gonna do it, because they're gonna kill me faster than if I just step out of my box and get to exercising and eat properly. So if I can prevail and I can get through that hardest mountain of my life, and to this day, my two children, I'm gonna tell you, I have 3 kids now because I have a stepdaughter that's almost 19 years old, and my son Austin is now 11, almost 12, and my daughter Summer, she's 12, almost 13. If I can prevail and live this life and have a happy life, knowing that exercise and nutrition was the reason why I made it through that most hardest trying time of my life, yes, I prevailed. Unfortunately, not everyone does when you're looking to get custody of your kids. I get it. I know that. But it wasn't for me. It was for them. It was for them to have their best life that they could possibly have, because I sacrifice. And I want to be here for them. I want to be healthy, and I want to live long and strong. And I want to be here for as long as I can possibly be. And thank God that I turned to nutrition and exercise to help me get through that trying time. And not only that, give me now my full-time career of helping people like you. So if you're over the age of 35, I'm here to tell you right now, number one, please do not let depression or any negative thing that happens to you, I don't care what it is, take you down. I'm telling you, you can prevail. You can bust out of depression mode. You can get into positive mode. You can get the body that you desire. You can have a flat stomach. You can have abs, and you can have a great life. All you have to do is start. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, is just to get started. Well, I want you to get started, and I have something for you today, because you stayed on this feed and you listened to my story, and I want to thank you for stopping, because sometimes you just need to hear that other people do have problems, and they've gone through serious issues and prevailed. I'm here to tell you right now, I used to go to bed and I used to hate life, but then I turned to exercise and nutrition, and not only that, it became my career. And today I have something special for you that has been made specifically for you if you are over the age of 35. Looks like it's gonna start raining. If you're over the age of I was about to go in the pool. If you're over the age of 35 and you feel like you need something to help you get through your trying times or help you get the dream body that you desire, well, I have the perfect solution for you. It's up at this link up above. It's the blue link. Okay, you can click that link. Yes, I'm a part of the over 40 ab solution. Yes, I am a part of everything that you are gonna see at this product, that is a system that's specifically designed to help you bust out of negative mode. All you have to do is get started. Over 40 ab and flat belly solution is here for you, and I've spent the last 20 years researching. I have spent the last 20 years fighting off these negative thoughts, depression, and not wanting no more to have a huge stomach. And today it's all in this system that is specifically designed for you. And if you have hormone issues because you're suffering from depression, and or you have problems because the cortisol levels in your body are just at an all-time low and they are horrible because you are stressed out, this system will help you get out of depressed mode and get into positive mode. I am very thankful for you to stop on this feed with me today. I'm very thankful. Do me a favor. If my story helped you, do me a favor and down in the comments below, just put a big yes or a big thank you with exclamation marks, because those are the things that motivate me to keep going and to keep going strong. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you were inspired. I hope you get started. Click this link up above. Don't forget down below to make those comments, yes, or a big thank you. Hit a like, hit a heart, hit a share, and I'll see you again. Thank you so much for watching.